Turkey accuses President Trump of jeopardizing long-standing ties between Turkey and the U.S. and threatens retaliation. The country is calling on the U.S. to reverse its decision to sanction two Turkish government ministers over detained American Pastor Andrew Brunson. Brunson, an evangelical pastor, was arrested in December 2016. He was jailed on espionage and terror-related charges until being placed on house arrest last month. The pastor faces a prison sentence of up to 35 years if he is convicted. Joining me now is Kristina Arriaga, Vice Chairwoman of the United States Commission on International Religious Freedom. Welcome back to the program.
Thank you. Thank you for having me back.
I interviewed Secretary of State Mike Pompeo, who told me that the State Department every single day is working on his release. We have sanctions. He's on house arrest. What's going to happen next?
The situation right now is worse than ever. The fact that Pastor Andrew Brunson is in an apartment in Izmir and the Turkish government, which controls all the press, is inciting violence. It's a terrible situation for them.
What do you mean they're inciting violence over
Well,
this?
the government of Turkey in the last 2 years, Erdogan has gotten rid of all free press. There is no social media unless it's controlled by the government. There's no television. And there are these fantastical stories about this priest spy. And just yesterday, the foreign minister said, Turkey's not going to bend the knee before this priest spy. And unfortunately, Erdogan has a lot of supporters in the area.
You were in the courtroom 2 weeks ago, July 18th, when Pastor Brunson was there. He had the hearing. You were one of the first people outside of the family and legal counsel to visit him in Turkey in prison in 2017. Tell us about him and how he's being treated and his emotional state.
Well, I saw him a year ago. He had lost 50 pounds. He looks emaciated. His wife, who's already very slender, has also lost 30 pounds. He's obviously not well, and he cannot see very well. And he is way up front, like in a basketball court that they have made into a courtroom. His wife is way up back. So whenever he looks back, she stands up and puts her hand over her heart. The trial, the hearing was extremely disturbing. The judges were feeding information to the witnesses for the prosecution. There was no evidence.
The judges.
The judges. The
judges were feeding information to the witnesses.
And these witnesses were supposedly Pastor Brunson's friends, and they testified for 2 hours against him, full of lies, could not come up with any evidence. And at the end of it, at the end of 2 hours, the judge says to Andrew Brunson, "What do you have to say for yourself?" And he says, "My faith teaches me to forgive. I forgive all of those who just testified against me." And the judge went ballistic. We're not here to talk about faith. We're not here to talk about religion. We're here to talk about the case.
So, based on everything you have said right now, is he going to get a fair trial?
Of course he's not going to get a fair trial. It was a kangaroo court. All of the witnesses for the government are secret witnesses. All of the witnesses that have testified so far are witnesses for the prosecution.
So what is it going to take to change this situation?
The only way to save him right now is to get him out of the country, and that is what President Trump and the Vice President are insisting on. I mean, Pastor Brunson was held for 18 months without being charged, without knowing what he was charged for, and the government of Turkey, before they gave the indictment to his own attorney, leaked it to the press.
Kristina Arriaga, Vice Chairwoman of the United States Commission on International Religious Freedom. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for updating on this case.
Thank you.